In 1979, a classified document surfaced that talked about psychological warfare against civilian populations. Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars claimed to be a technical manual originally found in an IBM copier purchased at a surplus sale. Whether authentic or elaborate fiction, the document laid out a chilling blueprint for social control through economic manipulation and information warfare. The document opens with military language applied to peacetime populations. Open quote. It is patently impossible to discuss social engineering or the automation of a society without implying extensive objectives of social control and destruction of human life. That is, slavery and genocide. End quote. The authors frame the public as an enemy to be conquered through methods that bypass conscious awareness. The weapon is stress applied through economic pressure. The battlefield is daily life itself. According to the document, the Quiet War was declared by international elites at a meeting in 1954, made possible by the computing revolution that allowed for economic modeling and prediction at scales never before imagined. The computer could calculate how much economic pressure would produce specific behavioral changes in populations. Tighten credit here, increase prices there, manipulate media coverage everywhere, and you could steer entire societies without firing a shot. The manual describes the general public with contempt. The general public refuses to improve its own mentality and its faith in its fellow man. It has become a herd of proliferating barbarians and, so to speak, a blight upon the face of the earth. This dehumanization justifies the proposed control systems. If people are cattle, then managing them like cattle becomes logical, even necessary.
This is John chapter 8 and verse 32, and it reads, "And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rokah, Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who are the elders of Yasher Allah, and a sincere salutation to all you Akim, who are preaching this word and believing this word, and to the Akwat, who are believing this word in all truth and in sincerity. I want to go into a lesson based on the clip that you just saw of, how governments operate as far as putting pressure on their population to keep them in control. And the reason I want to start off with John 8 and 32 is because once you understand the truth, Lord willing, we be a part of that number, it sets you free from the bondage that this society places on the normal individual. All right, as a matter of fact, let's go here. This is Matthew chapter 6. And I'll start at 19. It says, "Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also." And this is why, this society, especially with you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, they put some type of star or celebrity above your head to give you the inspiration or motivation to lay up treasures for yourself on earth. And then the reality of that is that it brings a lot of unnecessary stress to your life because you have an unrealistic expectation. And this is why the Lord said, once you know the truth, it sets you free. And as we continue in Matthew 6, because I want to continue in it. All right, let's go. Let's go down to verse 25. All right, now I'll jump up. But it says, verse 25, "Therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat or what ye shall drink, nor yet for your body, what ye shall put on. Is not the life more than meat, and the body than raiment?" And when you don't have that kind of understanding within you, which is the average person in this society, there's a mentality of chasing the bag, of always storing up treasures for a future date, saving up for retirement. And that creates a level of stress and dependency upon a system that is not in your favor. All right. And all roads lead to the hour of temptation. And most people are going to fold in the hour of temptation because they've laid up for themselves treasures on earth. And to maintain or keep those treasures, they're going to do whatever the society tells them to do. But we know, according to prophecy, through the Spirit, no matter what, this place is going to fall. And we look for a new heaven and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. You know, Yahweh Shah mentioned this also in Luke. Salakia, it's Matthew 6 and 32 again. I thought it was Luke. It's Matthew 6 and 32. All right, it says, for after, I'll start at 31. It says, therefore take no thought saying, what shall we eat? Or what shall we drink? Or wherewithal shall we be clothed? For after all these things do the Gentiles seek. For your heavenly Father knoweth that ye have need of all these things. All right, so the average person in this society is a Gentile. All right, even 2/3 of our people have a heathen state of mind. They are Israelites according to the flesh, but they've adopted a heathen state of mind. This is why they're so frantically losing sleep over trying to build up some sort of wealth in a society that is actively failing. But once you know the truth, it sets you free. You know, we're in the world, but we're not of it, because we understand that as pilgrims on the earth, Lord willing, we be a part of that number. We understand we're not even going to be able to take these bodies into the kingdom. So everything on this side is temporal. But when you don't have that mindset, this place looks permanent to the average person in this society. That's why they take it so serious. All right. And this is the beauty of it. You know, what this clip explained, and I'll put the link to the full video in the description, is that it's intentional. They intentionally put economic pressure on the people to keep them in a mind state of panic, of distraction. All right. And of ultimately of control. Because if you're afraid to lose everything, well, at that point, they have full control over you. All right. Matter of fact, let's get this. This is Matthew 16 and 25. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it. So all the effort to keep whatever status or abundance you have on this side, you know, that compromises the integrity that the Lord has given you, you're going to lose it anyway. Even the saints, all right, Lord, will we be a part of that number? The elect are going to lose on this side as far as possessions. Now, is it really a loss? No. Because we're pilgrims. We're passing through this place anyway. That's like being in a break room at work and wanting to keep the chairs. You know, you're not there for forever. You're there for a break, and then you back at work. And at the same time, once you clock back in, you don't even think about those chairs in the break room no more. And that's what the Lord told us to have. That's the mentality the Lord is instilling in the elect. When the Lord said, come out of her, my people. All right. The Lord was saying what? That, look, you're mentally, you have to detach from this place. All right. Micah 2 and 10. And when that happens, because this place doesn't have power over the elect, and that's through the spirit and mercy of Yahweh Shema Shai. And it's because the Lord has given the elect the gift of faith. They're completely detached from this system. So this system doesn't have power over them. Like when Yahweh Shah said in Hebrews, when it was said in Hebrews, I'll say it that way. All right, this is Hebrews chapter 2. And I'll read verse 14 in the NLT. It says, because the Most High's children are human beings made of flesh and blood, the Son also became flesh and blood. For only as a human being could he die, and only by dying could he break the power of the devil who had the power of death. Only in this way could he set free all who have lived their lives as slaves to the fear of dying. Think about how powerful that is. You know, and it begins with the elect. The spirit of understanding and faith in Yahweh Shema Shai, to a point where they transcend the fear of dying. Because that's what Esau ultimately holds over people's head. The threat of death, whether physical death or economic death, status death, whatever you want to call it. He holds that fear over people's head, even his own people. But the remnant, the elect, have been freed from that. There is no fear of what they stand to lose in this system, because the Lord has already told the elect that they would lose on this side concerning possessions. But the fashion of this world is going to pass away anyway, meaning the Lord is about to reset this entire game. Now, this shows you the spiritual origin of all of this, because while that video explains more technical terms about how governments put intentional pressure on their population to keep them controlled and stressed out, it goes back to the spirit. Because the Lord said, look, I had to free those who spent their entire life living with the fear of dying. All right. Look at how it's read in the KJV. Hebrews 2:15 in the KJV, it says, and deliver them who through fear of death were all their lifetime subject to bondage. And the Lord has freed the elect from that. Lord willing, we be a part of that number. And that's why this truth is so beautiful, because, again, Paul made mention of this. This is Philippians 4:12. It reads, I know both how to be abased and I know how to abound. Everywhere and in all things I'm instructed both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. I can do all things through Hamashiach, which strengtheneth me. So whether up, down, it don't matter, through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah, because the Lord, the source of the elect confidence and faith and driving force of the elect is the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah. That's the guiding force of the elect. Everybody else, in the world, particularly 2/3 of our people, if you think about what they're confident in, is money, is status, is appearance. It's things that are tangible. It's things that are temporal. Whereas the Lord has put the spirit on the elect to have a ground and foundation in him and not in the fashion of this world. Because when the fashion of this world passeth away, their hope is going to pass away with it. This is why scriptures say this as well, as a sidebar. Ecclesiastes 34:1, the hopes of a man void of understanding are vain and false, and dreams lift up fools. So the American dream has lifted up many fools. Yet, once you know this truth, Lord willing, we be a part of that number, it sets you free from this cage that they call a society. Because all of these people are stressed. Either the ones who have it, they're stressed they're going to lose it. The ones who don't have it are stressed to get it. And Esau's able to control both sides. This is why the hour of temptation is going to be a cakewalk concerning the rest of the people. Because they're going to willingly take it and then be destroyed. So for Esau, in his mind, the majority of the population is cakewalk. But the remnant are going to resist. Lord willing, we be a part of that number. And it's because the remnant have been instilled with the mindset of passing through this place, and this place not being our permanent home. This is not our rest. All right, let's go here. Deuteronomy 12:9, and it reads, for ye are not as yet come to the rest and to the inheritance, which the Lord your God giveth you. All right, I'm going to jump to Hebrews, the 4th chapter. I'm going to jump down to verse 9. It says, there remaineth therefore a rest to the people of Yahweh Shema Shah. And this is not that place. Having to try to sustain yourself under the yoke of your enemies is not rest. And they have this saying, if the so-called white man catch a cold, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans catch the flu. Now, if you think about the strategy of controlling a society by putting economic stress on it, that's really meant to control his own people. If you really think about it, because 2/3 of our people are already bought and sold. But when you think about a country with more guns than people, and the majority of those gun owners are Edomites, then you have to add this economic pressure to keep them in the mindset that this game is still real, and they have to put all their focus and attention on it. Yet the Lord is bringing this place down to a point where everybody's going to be convinced that it's not worth playing the game no more. And that goes into sedition, where they're not going to regard their kings nor princes. And even though Esau is trying to intentionally break down this system to bring in a new one, the Lord is ultimately showing us through prophecy our salvation is nearer than we believe. Because the Lord didn't bring us here to stay here forever. All right, this is a wicked and crooked system, and it's a reflection of the man who's in control. Esau Edom is individualistic. All right, he don't think about anybody else but himself. He don't mind cutthroating people. If you're strong enough, he feels like you should be able to take advantage of people, and you see that in the system he's created through capitalism. And only when you come to the truth are you really free from this. Going into another tax bracket, getting a bunch of money doesn't truly free you from this society. Oftentimes, it makes it worse for you because the fear of going back to the bottom is so strong that it'll keep you up at night. Matter of fact, let's get that. This is Ecclesiastes 31:1. Watching for riches consumeth the flesh, and the care thereof driveth away sleep. Just look at all them billionaire Edomites. They age like milk anyway, but just look at them. Big ass bags under their eyes, cooked. So the Lord is saying, look, don't take no thought about this shit. You know, we're in this world. We have to do what we have to do to the best of our ability, but don't hold no serious stock in this place as if it's going to go on forever. And once you have that mentality, Lord willing, we be a part of that number, the elect transcend this place. They become the Lord's freemen. Matter of fact, I got to get that too. There's Ecclesiastes 31:2. Watching care will not let a man slumber, and a sore disease breaketh sleep. All right. The rich hath great labor in gathering riches together, and when he resteth, he is filled with his delicates. All right. The poor laboreth in his poor state, and when he leaveth off, he is still needy. Now it's going into this strategy that this guy was explaining, and this is going into the spirit of it. All right, verse 5, he that loveth gold shall not be justified, and he that followeth corruption shall have enough thereof. Right, because corruption equals, eventually you get what's coming to you. And our forefathers knew this. You got to think, all of this wisdom we have is our forefathers giving us the game through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. As they went from one captivity to another. So we had to learn how to move in the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai and throughout multiple captivities. You don't think people was chasing the bag in Babylon? Or Greece? Or Rome? And the Lord is saying, look, this is not your rest. If this was Yahweh Shai's kingdom, his servants will fight. We're passing through here. And once you understand that, Esau has less and less control over you. That's why Yahweh Shah said, ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Brothers and sisters don't realize how much freer you are than the average person. Those of this society that may be able to jet set and go here and go there, the worries that they have, the peace that they lack, you have in abundance. We have peace through Yahweh Shai, not as the world giveth, because all of the world's peace is temporal. It feels good for a moment. And then you get to wondering, damn, what if I lose it all? What if I go back to the... Whereas the Lord's peace isn't like that. All right, real quick, it's 1 Corinthians 7:22. It says, for he that is called in the Lord, being a servant, is the Lord's freeman. Likewise, also, he that is called, being free, is Hamashiach's servant. You are bought with a price. Be not ye the servants of men. Matter of fact, I'm going to start at 21. It says, art thou called being a servant? Care not for it. But if thou mayest be free, use it rather. So this truth making you free from this system is not just supposed to be for your own benefit. You're supposed to use that freedom through the spirit to add to the ministry, to add to the body, to strengthen your brethren through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. But the viewpoint of this system is that it's temporal. So there's no real stock in this place. Even now as we speak, this system is falling. And when it really hits the fan, a lot of people are going to crack. Their minds are going to break because, again, they've put their entire stock and hope in this society. So when it falls, their hope falls with it. Whereas the Lord has warned us to come out of her mentally first. And then in Revelation, the 18th chapter, it'll be physical. Man, this is beautiful, man. The Lord has given us the ability to see through the madness, you know, and we ain't have to go to economic school or go to some kind of Ivy League school to see this system for what it is. The Lord has given the eyesoft to the elect. Lord willing, we be a part of that number again. All right, this is Luke 12:15. And he said unto them, take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesseth. And that's what this system is all about. Your value being measured by what you possess. And once you know the truth, it sets you free. You Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who are the Israelites, you were born rich. That's why the scriptures say the rich sit in low place. You were born the wealthy nation on the planet because you stand to inherit the promises. And this system is just another system we're passing through. And the comfort and joy is that we're passing through this type of captivity for the last time. As the Lord said, we will no more go in captivity again. All right, so Lord willing, this was edifying. With that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who are the elders of Yashar Allah, and a sincere salutation to all you Akim, who are preaching this word and believing this word, and to the Akwath, who are believing this word in all truth and in sincerity. Shalom.